What's going on YouTube? It's Mike here, and today guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about the Apple iTV rumor roundup. Now, as most of you guys know, there's been a bunch of rumors that have been going around with the Apple TV, and as we all know and love, or kind of like the Apple TV, the current Apple TV, here it is right here. Of course, I have it. As an Apple fan, well, I guess I have to have it. But, as you know, it's not a top-selling product by Apple right now, and it's not really one that everyone wants to go out and buy, let alone it's not a top seller, and that's why it's sitting back in the back of the Apple Store. Now, this video's main purpose is to talk about the rumors that have been coming out with the Apple TV, with the new one, like something like the Apple iTV. Now, as you can see from the images here, wherever they might be, there's been a bunch of stuff going around with this new Apple TV, and I figured I'd round up everything today and my personal thoughts. Now, most of you have been thinking, well, they're going to take the iOS, or the software on the little box, and they're going to be putting it on the TV. Now, Apple likes to be small and everything, and I think that what Apple wants to do is they like to put it onto an actual TV. What I mean by this is, Apple partners up with Samsung or Panasonic or Sony or some company, and they make this monitor together. They brand it as Apple, and then they take the OS from the Apple TV, and they put it directly into that TV monitor set, whatever you want to call it. But of course, I think when they put that OS in, they'd add some more features that you could get, because as we know right now with the Apple TV, we don't get that many features as we'd like, and again, that's why it's sitting in the back of the Apple Store. Now, many people are thinking that this TV is going to be beyond beautiful, it's going to be ultra thin, it's going to have cable inputs, Apple's going to introduce their own version of cable. Honestly, I don't expect very much from this product, and I don't really understand why people would want to go out and buy a product like this, because with the way Apple prices their computers, a tablet let alone being $500 and then a MacBook being $1,200, what's this price of the TV going to be? Now, with Siri added, it could be cool, along with a really beautiful 1080p display. I think Apple can really make it awesome, but one thing they have to be careful with is price, because if the TV is like $5,000, it's just not going to be right, and Apple's not going to sell them. Apple usually never wants to give up on their products, and the Apple TV is going so downhill that they have to do something about it. There's been enough rumors around that have been going around in the rumor mill that Apple's definitely going to do something, because when there's enough of this stuff going around, it's definitely possibilities. Now, as I said before, Apple likes to be small, and as you can see from the picture of the old Apple TV here, there's been a huge size change, let alone even ports on the back. So I don't know how Apple's going to manage this TV size. I think they're mainly going to sell it in 1 or 3 sizes. They usually don't go above 3 sizes. I think they're mainly going to sell a 42-inch TV. They may not go bigger than that. They may go smaller than that. I don't think you could go bigger than 42 inches, because that would just be extreme for Apple, and it would be a really big product. It's a cool thought, though, and I would definitely like to see something like that. What I'm really expecting from Apple here is just something new, like a TV that you could hold in your TV stand and call your own. Meaning that you would have your cable hooked up to it without a cable box, like Apple would pre-program Optimum or Fios or Time Warner cable into this TV, and you wouldn't have to run a line through it. Of course, Apple would make these agreements with the companies. You get the Apple TV OS right on there that we all know and quote-unquote love, but they'd also add some more features in, not only like YouTube or Netflix browsing, but Twitter and Facebook integrations and web searching and all that great stuff. Obviously, we'd also be getting the iPhone 4S and iPad 2 mirroring that we get now, which is still, you know, I love that feature. That's probably my favorite feature on the Apple TV now. That would be awesome also to get on the Apple TV. And then I also think that we'll get something like more streaming options, and I think Apple will offer a bit more options to the TV shows and the movies. I think now that the rental fees are just crazy for $5 for only 24 hours. And I definitely think that Apple should add you being able to buy movies and then watch them. I don't know if you could do that right now because I haven't bought any, but they should add some more features with the movies, considering it is a TV, and now that less people are using cable and more are just using their digital devices with their TV, they'd have to do something to turn around with it. As for what Apple may do with DVDs or CDs, like if they're going to put DVD or CD ports on these new devices, I really don't think that's going to happen. If you notice back in 2010 when Steve Jobs introduced iTunes 10, as you can see the logo here, it eliminated the CD, so I don't think Apple's looking anymore for digital stuff. And when Mac OS X Lion came out last year in 2011 summer, there was no disc. there was just a $30 download from the App Store, and if you wanted, you could go to the Apple Store and you could get a $70 thumb drive if you wanted to install it. One more thing I want to add, we definitely want to get something like Siri on it. Now, there's been a bunch more rumors around with that too. As you can see from the picture here, you could see Siri running on a possible Apple TV, Apple iTV. I think if we did get that on an Apple TV, it would be great, but at the same time, it would almost be like Apple's just giving up on using the remote, and I kind of like the design of the remote. It's a nice, as you can see here, silver ultra design, and it just feels really good in the hand, and I love touching it and picking it up and using it. But I do think that Siri would be a really cool feature on this device, or TV, whatever you want to call it, because then you can just literally control it from your couch. You can control your TV. But I think Apple needs to toy around with Siri a bit more, because sometimes my iPhone really does not understand what I'm saying. So ultimately, with this iTV, we're looking for a bunch of cool things. I really don't know what's going to happen with it yet, but all these things that we've discussed, it's a possibility, and I guess we just have to wait for what Apple will bring. Now, as for when they're going to announce it, it could be up to a few weeks or the end of this year. We'll just have to wait and see, and it's going to be pretty exciting to see what Apple does anyways. So thank you guys for watching this video about the iTV. This is the set-top box again. This has nothing to do with what could be coming, but hopefully we'll get that OS on it. If you like this video, please leave some comments below on your thoughts. Of course, rate, give this video a thumbs up, and click the subscribe button up top. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.